What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this special show in which I have a special guest. Y'all see her, y'all know her, Johnnetta Bryant, my wifey. And so I'm excited about this. It's been a long time coming, and as you all know, when you trying to do something as powerful as this will be, the enemy always rear his head and throw obstacles in the way and try to put things in the way and put things in the path. But we have arrived to this point. My wife and I are doing well. We've been married for 20 years now, coming up on 21 this summer. And so we are excited. I've already coined this one, Just Keep Reaching. It's really a testimony of what she has been to me and what she is now to the world. And so we're just going to walk through this journey, as we are a military family, and we've lived in Italy, we've lived in Japan, we've lived in Florida, 2 locations in Florida. So we have had a journey. And my wife, everywhere we went, she always reaching. And so we're just going to talk about today. What's going on, baby?
Hey, babe.
Hey, glad you are on the show. Just walk us through your journey.
A journey, indeed, it has been. Nonetheless, with its highs and with its lows, and happy times, sad times, disappointing times, there has been growth. There has been development. God has definitely worked all things out for our good, for my good, for the good of our children, for the good of our family. And for that, I can just say thank God. It may not have gone the way I would have planned for things to go, but God knows the way that I should take, and His path is definitely perfect, and His will is perfect for my life. And so I've been places, went through things, but it has brought me to the place that I am today, and for that, I'm grateful.
Amen. And so let's start out with 18-year-old Johnnetta Bryant, newlywed. We are stationed in Washington State, and we started out very humble, y'all. Tell them about Washington State, our first duty station as a married couple, and how you continue to reach.
It's even as I look back over how things has played out, how my life has turned out, how we've turned out, how we've gotten where we've gotten. I smile because there has been risk, so many unknown things, the unfamiliar, the unseen. As you said, 18. I was 18 years old when we got married. Didn't know a lot about anything. Hadn't been anywhere outside of Texas from my parents' care. So I was definitely stepping out in love. I was stepping out on love. Where would love take us? And I didn't even attend my high school prom because I was preparing myself to marry you.
Amen.
And graduating high school in May of 2000, marrying you in July of 2000, and in August, moving across the United States from Texas to Washington with you. We didn't have a place established for us to live. I didn't even have a driver's license. Again, just a baby, trying to be a young lady that had fallen in love with you. And I just knew that I just wanted to be where you were. So I took the journey to start my life, my adult life, with you in Washington State. And again, didn't have a place of our own. Thank God for friends that you had at the time that allowed us to stay in their home.
And so let me just give a backdrop. And so the epitome of her love for me and my love for her, and trying to get away from, I'm from Texas as well, get away from where we were from, and start something afresh and something new together. Like you said, I was young in the Navy, didn't even have a place to stay, but her determination to leave where she was to be with me was incredible. And when she arrived to Washington State, of course, you heard her say we was allowed to stay with some friends. But weeks later, I was about to go on a 6-month cruise on the ship, 6 months away with her in a new place, in a new marriage. And so, just boy, this is
Yeah,
tell us about it.
Yeah, it was wild. It was scary. Because again, didn't have anything really to call our own. No furniture. He had a car. But again, I didn't even have a driver's license.
I had bills,
and yes, he's had so many bills and things like that.
Yeah.
And we managed because just our determination to make it work. Because again, when I got to Washington, it was in August, and in September he left, and he was gone for 6 months. And even in that time span, I was left with trying to build something that he could come home to. And I the kids,
Yeah.
we're doing this from home. They
Yeah.
just walked in, so Paul, just excuse that little moment. This is as real as it gets.
Yeah, we
this
still
is
tracking.
not programmed. It's live. Yeah. So the kids came in, so I'm going to get back to what I was saying. So he left, and I was left with his bills, and trying to establish first off a place to stay. So I'm seeking out jobs, got my driver's license, got a job at a mall, and I was able to get a apartment in our name. Was able to secure an apartment. Again, no furniture. So I slept in that apartment with only a blanket. I laid on the floor. I brought 2 things in there: a blanket and a phone.
Wow.
Again, the kind of phone you plug up in the wall, not the cell phones and stuff, so that I can communicate with him. So I slept on the floor, and all I did was went to work, come back to the apartment, try to get on the phone with him. And not knowing anyone in that state either, but again, the good friends that we had made it a little bit comfortable for me. So I got grinding from the jump start. So got the apartment, and trying to pay off some of his debt. I didn't have any, but the thing about it is I just know God just has graced our marriage, because just having the mindset that what's his is now become mine, and it's going to affect what we do together. And so just start paying those things off, and he came home to a place, that when he left, there was nothing. But when he came back, I had been able to do some things for us.
And let me just interject right there. When I left for those 6 months, my wife was 18-year-old young lady. When I got back and I came off that ship and got in the car and went to a home, she was a woman. And I'm telling you, you can see the difference. You can see the change. You can feel the aura of what have happened and what had transpired over those 6 months. It was really eye-opening. I was so grateful that I had got and chose a good thing. She really established our adulthood with the tangible things that people certify adulthood in being and responsibility holding. So we had a place, we had car, we had these things now, and before we did not have these things. Go ahead, baby.
Yes, we didn't have them, but we had each other, and that was the motivation. Is that we're gonna do whatever we do. We'll be broke together. We'll have an abundance together. And so I'm thankful again just for the things that I've learned. I've learned so much. As he said, he left me in a state of mind, and when he came back, I was in another state of mind. But the beauty of it is we've grown together.
Yeah.
The things that we have, what you see the Bryant family with, he and I has worked together to accomplish these things. And there are some couples that, one had this, one had already had this established, and so they come together and they combine, the things that they've accumulated together, which is great. However, in our story, nothing from nothing, put it together, and we've just been multiplying the things that God has blessed us with. And again, we did it together.
Yeah, we did it together. I remember coming in to the apartment, and what we had was a mattress on the floor. And did you get a TV?
Yeah, so I saw a bedroom set, and again, money's so tight. I think he was probably like a E3 or something like that in the military.
Getting paid little.
And, and I was working at a mall. Then I did start working at a fast food restaurant. So again, not a lot of money, but a lot of love. So I had bought a mattress and a frame. And bought a TV. TV sitting on the floor, mattress and a frame, and the same blanket that I had. And so what would happen was every time we would get paid, I would go and buy another piece to the bedroom set that we could afford. Again, just the piece. It went from I was able to then buy the headboard. Then I was able to buy like the nightstand that became the television holder, until I was able to buy something to hold the TV. So, man, making that thing work, making it work. And you had like the laundry basket that just had all of the clothes in it. So you're going in there and just digging in the laundry basket for the clothes and stuff. Didn't have all these hangers and all this kind of stuff hung up in the closet. So you had these two laundry baskets and our clothes is piled in there. But little by little, and doing what we can do, sacrificing where the sacrifices needed to be made, step by step, we was able to finally get a bedroom set. Like, finally able to get a bedroom set.
Full bedroom set, and you couldn't tell us
nothing. And so we didn't even have, we never in this particular apartment, it was in an apartment, had living room furniture. We wasn't able to get it in that apartment. But then we did move to another apartment complex. And there we were able to add some more things to it. Of course, you go to these rent-a-center type places that once you're done paying for stuff, you pay for about 2-3 times over.
Right.
But it just seemed convenient and doable when your notes and stuff is like $20-$30. So I don't advise that, but that's what brought us over.
Yeah.
It helped us to gather some things. So we got our next apartment, and finally was able to get a living room furniture.
Yeah.
In that
with the spider
place.
lamp. We had the big
spider lamp, and so crazy. The carpet was pink.
Pink carpet.
It was pink.
It was
carpet,
plush though.
Like
it was plush. But it was pink.
And of course, your black leather, and then this radio set. With the speakers is 5 feet high.
Yeah.
But we were in that thing, and the crazy thing, like we had turned the living room like into our little like club, because my husband and I, being married, we've never been to a club together. Never been to a club together. One, I was very, very, very jealous and behind him. I did not want nobody looking at him. No, did not want that. And on top of that, God was really working in our hearts, because we both were raised in the church. So, we was trying to do, the stuff of the world. And then at the same time, the conviction, of knowing what we are supposed to be doing or not supposed to be doing. So we're just kind of battling that. So we didn't really engage into the club scene. So we would be in our living room. I'm talking about dancing hard. My legs would be sore. We was going at it in that
for a pink carpet.
That pink carpet.
So let's transition to overseas. So we was in Washington State for some time, and then my orders were done there, and we had to go overseas, and we went to Sigonella, Sicily, Italy. And so you grabbed hold of some things there, and we just kept advancing. To tell the people about that journey.
Yeah, so in 2002, we were stationed in Sigonella, Sicily, Italy. Got there, again, you get off the plane, and you see this place, and again, it's very historic there, so it's like really looking foreign. It is foreign, but I'm like, okay, this is kind of scary. We riding through the city, and you see it's so crowded there. And they have these like geek things, animals.
Sheep.
Like, I don't know if it's a mixture of a sheep and a goat or something. That's what people say. But probably not the case. But they are all just like in the road, and it's just like, it's very country looking, and I'm from the country, but how it's like just a different kind of like country looking scene. But got there, like, okay, we are here. This is different. People are speaking the languages that we don't know. Far, far, far away from home. Don't know nobody over there. But again, I was just always, wherever he was, I can make it home. I can make the necessary adjustments to whatever the environment is. And so yeah, we got over there.
You started doing hair, didn't you?
My first job, I started working at I was doing hair.
Right in
I was doing hair.
Kitchen.
That kitchen hair. Sometimes that's the best hair. I don't advise. You don't have a license, but hey, them girls in the kitchen be getting down, not just food, but in the head too. But yeah, I had started to do hair because again, my mom was we call beauticians. Now it's stylists and hair stylists and all of this. Beautician. And so I've always been around hair. I learned to do it for myself, and then others would see, and then I just, how it starts.
And making big money.
Doing hair, and
man,
it was fun. I was able to then, through that, start meeting people, and again, money that I'm able to buy things for our home, for our credit, our bills, and things like that. So I've always been a worker. I've been working since I was 15. So getting out there and making my own money, I've always done it. And I don't know, I just like to have my own stuff because I like stuff. I like shopping, so I like to be able to get what I want to get. But you can't always get what you want to get. But I do like to be able to add to and help and assist when I can and however I can. So I've been working for a long time.
Yeah, and one thing people got to know is when we went to Italy, Italy was a special place for us because we went over with no children. And a lot of people don't know we had Kedron and Yana in Italy, or Yana and Kedron, because Yana is the oldest. She's 17 now, Kedron 13. But we had both children in Italy, and in Italy is where God called us into ministry. Yeah. In fact, in Italy is where I got saved. That's where I received Jesus as my personal Lord and Savior. My wife, she was already tracking. She's from Kojic background. She was already tracking, just keeping me afloat. But that's when God really arrested us together and started bringing us up in ministry to the point where...
Y'all get the food out the oven.
Lord Jesus, y'all is
because I can't let it burn. Hey.
And so, yeah, God...
From home.
Yeah, we at home. We at home, and we are truly...
get the food out the oven.
Living. We living. This ain't staged.
No,
this is not a put together script that we living. And so God really chose us and brought us into ministry to the point where we spent 6 years there. And in the 6 years, 2 of those years, I operated in pastoralship of a ministry there. And so Italy was a very special place for us.
It was divinely placed in our lives by God. So much transpired in our lives, in and through us in that place. Again, growing up in church, and then you get grown and on your own, and so you try to do your own thing. Man, but the word is so true that if you train them up in the way, that they should go, that when they get old, they will not depart. There was just some things that we couldn't partake in, and we didn't partake in because of the upbringing that we had. Not, again, that we was better than anybody, but we know what had been deposited in us. Yeah. It was real. It was real, and it kept us from engaging in a lot of things. But even in that, we made decisions that were not lined up with the will of God for our life. And so this place, Sicily, Italy, God sent us there and began to restore and revive, and to get us to the place where we were destined to be. Took us far away land, but we lived in Moda, in this town, Moda, and there was a church that was like right up the street, couple of little steps up. And we would hear the Sunday services going, and one Sunday I was like, I'm going to church. I know better than this. My parents did not raise me to not go to church. That's maybe right. Been there and wasn't doing what I was supposed to do while I'm there. My mind may have been on other things. Nevertheless, you find yourself in the house of the Lord on Sunday mornings. And I know sometimes you can think, oh, there's just tradition. But I'm telling you, if you stay around it long enough, it will get hold of you. You may go for the wrong reason, but when you sit under that word and the presence of God is in the place, it will capture you, and you probably didn't even intend for it to happen. And so, again, we trying to live grown, and not going to church. And
Yeah.
so, just hearing that music and hearing the services going, like, nah, this is just not the way. I'm grown, but I ain't never too grown for Jesus.
That's right.
And so I was like, let me get myself up and get in this church. I don't know nobody, but oh well, like, I'm going to church. And so after Sundays of sleeping in, laying in, I went, and my husband, he was just laying in the bed, and
I was laying there, and all I saw was her go across the hallway fully dressed this Sunday morning. And I was waking up, and she was like, I'm going. I said, you ain't going without me. I jumped up and put my clothes on, and we pressed our way in. And our lives truly have never been the same.
definitely never
been
the same to encounter the presence of God, the power of God, the people of God.
Yeah.
Change is inevitable. Like, it's gonna happen if you stay around it long enough. Something is gonna get a hold of you. And I'm so happy that I've been captured by the love and the grace of God. And so we joined the ministry there, New Hope Church. At the time, it was Pastor Nichols and First Lady Kim Nichols. They were the pastors there, and we joined that ministry and got to work in that ministry, singing on the praise team, and we were playing the drums, and
I was a deacon. A young man. Just on fire for God.
Yeah, so they had like this new converts class. I was touched on the very foundational things of ministry that really is what we started building our faith on. Those foundational biblical teachings. When you come to know who God is, not just know church, but really start to teach us who God is, who we are in God, who we're supposed to be in God, and His plan for us. The things that are already in store for the believer. And so we started reaching. We started reaching spiritually to grow and to know God for ourselves in just a personal way.
Yeah, personal way.
So we joined that ministry and was working hospitality. Some great women that I was able to have in my life that's been mentors throughout. Our children's godparents, we met in that ministry, and just some great women of faith.
And we still have relationships that was established in that church to this day.
Yes, still to this day, some 19 years ago. And so it was definitely a turning point in our lives, that we've never been the same since we been sent to that place, and the things that God allowed us to do.
So, baby, you mentioned just keep reaching spiritually. I want you to we're going to do a part 2, because we still got to get to Japan, and we got to get to the writing of I Just Want to Live here in Florida. But you mentioned just keep reaching spiritually. That's what we begin to do over in Italy. Just kind of wrap it up and give your moment of truth and your example of what it means to just keep reaching. Let me bring you in.
To reach spiritually means to allow God to develop you in the way that He wants to develop you for Him. It's very personal. When you have your mind on God and you just have a desire to want to know who he is. You know, we've been taught a lot of things, but when you have your own encounter with God, it's more meaningful, you know. And so I wanted to know who God really was. Not just the wrath of God. I knew a lot about the wrath of God, and not a lot about the love and the grace and the mercy of God, the forgiveness of God. I really didn't even understand the forgiveness of God. If I didn't understand that about God, I really didn't even know how I could even have any kind of part with him. And so once I began to learn that, I began to see myself in a different light, see others in a different light, see this world in a different light. And so with that understanding, I kept striving and wanting to know more and more, deeper, get closer and closer, more upright, more just aware of who God was. And with that awareness, it's caused me to want better for myself, for my family, for others. And so in reaching, you never stop. You can never stop reaching. You can never stop being stretched. This is a lifelong journey. And so I put my hand forth. God grabbed me by the hand, and he's been walking with me. And I've been trying to, day by day, to be more like Jesus in how I walk and talk and live and think and move. And the reach, if one of my favorite scriptures is James 4:8. If you draw nigh unto God, he will draw nigh unto you. And I've been drawing nigh, and he's been coming closer and closer as I invite the Lord's presence and will for my life in.
Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, the infamous Johnnetta Bryant, my wife and my baby, my queen. Come on, give it up for her.